So you keep hearing about ChatGPT and how it's, AI and how it's going to change the industry. Well, what if people in your company today taught ChatGPT how to do their job? Right? What if? So at Cochrane Supply, we've got quite a few people trying to do that now. And one of them, Mr. Jacob Fenley, our Indiana regional sales leader, he is here to share with you guys what he's been working on with ChatGPT. So take it away, Jacob.
Hi. My mic on? Perfect. Like Scott said, my name's Jacob Fenley. I'm the area market leader for the state of Indiana, Illinois, California, Iowa. I'm also a big ChatGPT enthusiast. Ever since this came out in about October of last year when it became available to the public, I've been playing with it for a few hours every day, almost exactly. And once Scott found out that I had it doing about half my job, he said the least I could do would be to come up here and show you guys a demo of some things I've done with it. So I was really excited to do that. But after listening over the last couple days to contractors talk about it and our manufacturer partners, I'm afraid I'm starting to feel like the canary in the coal mine because this technology is coming faster than I think any of us are ready for it. I'm going to show you a quick example today of just a few things I've done with it. And I invite you to stop by our booth, and I'll be sitting there with it open. You can query me on it. We can talk about other business ideas. But it's a very powerful tool that does a lot more than just chat with you. So in this situation here, if you haven't seen the interface, this is the actual ChatGPT from OpenAI, the default interface. Here I just asked it, what is ChatGPT, and how can we use it in the building automation industry? And please explain it to me as if I'm 5 years old. And so you can read that, and it did a pretty good job. It really kind of drew it down and did a good job of explaining it. Whenever Mike Mitchell and I were working the other day on getting this all ready to go, he wanted me to question it about Dungeons and Dragons figurines and how to build those, make those, and paint those. And he argued with it a little bit because he's the expert on that. But he did agree by the end of it that it did a pretty good job. These are kind of the examples that we always hear about when we're talking about ChatGPT. Ask it a question, have it do something. But what really is it? ChatGPT is just a chatbot that's layered on top of the conversational AI model called GPT. So it doesn't have to be a chatbot. What you can do with it involves the API integration that you can get from OpenAI if you make an account. One example would be in Google Docs. So in this Google Doc, I've imported a 2300900 temperature control spec, like we're all used to seeing and working with. And I noticed towards the bottom, it mentions the training that's going to be required for the system. We all know that when we install a JSON 2 controllers, we then owe the building owner 400 hours of training, right? So I thought, coming from where I was at the company I used to work for, we didn't have a training director. We didn't have anyone to write the training. So in here, what I did was import this 2300900 spec, copy and paste it, and then I came up here and I said, can you write me an outline to use for the training provided in section 3.3? And then I clicked this checkbox, which makes it reference this document. And I'm going to hit submit. And we're going to cross our fingers because it's a live demo, so we know how that goes. Like I said, yeah, we're going to cross our fingers. Let me try refresh it. Sometimes that fixes it. It didn't this time. Sorry. These are a little finicky still. Can you provide me an outline for the training required? Oh, is it there? Oh, okay, perfect. Sorry, I scrolled past it, so it did work. All right, so here we go. So this was the end of the section originally. Then it produced an outline for the training. And you'll see it did a pretty good job. It talked about Niagara 4 server front end, Tritium JS 8000, field devices, temperature sensors. Gives you something to run off of. If you have a group of project managers, you don't have a training coordinator, that's something you could do today with it to help you out. The real kicker to this is that I didn't copy and paste that 2300900 spec. If you'll check my prompt histories, which it has cleared, but I actually asked it to write me a 2300900 specification. And I asked it to make sure that it specified a Niagara front-end supervisor, asked that it specify Vicon JACE 8000 for any supervisory devices, and asked that it only allow BACnet IP devices in the spec. And once it generated it in about 30 seconds, I had a full 2300900 guide spec with the parameters that I asked for. And what I'd like to see in a situation like this, the way we could utilize this would be in something like our websites where engineers go to build specifications. If we could use this to create maybe a drop-down selection menu, if we could use it to create a checkbox menu, where the engineers could actually go pick what's in the building now, hit generate, and get their 2300900 specification. Just one example in Docs. The other one I'm going to show you is in Google Sheets. So same thing here. You can actually use this entire list of GPT functions just like you would a formula in Excel. So here, I actually used the GPT table formula and said, I need a table of the top 10 most sold cars in the United States and their ratings and descriptions. And it generated me everything from a Toyota Camry to a Ram 1500, what its ratings are. I don't know where those ratings came from because I didn't do a very good job of prompting it, and a description of why they got those ratings. Down here, I used a feature called, if I can find it, GPT Fill. What I did was this top section, these boxes, were from, say, imported from a website where people are filling out their user data before they submit it to your system. On the left is what the users input, and then I cleaned it up on the right how I wanted to see it. Then I just told it, take these next three, and it could be 1,000, and clean it up in the same way that I clean these up. And it automatically generated these three names instead of this. That's a way you could use it tomorrow. Then in this section, I just used GPT table again, and I said, give me a list of common temperature controlled BACnet points for a package rooftop unit, including their tag name, units, and a description. And it was able to just generate that out of clean air, no more prompting besides that. It's able to reference the entire internet, well, a snapshot of the entire internet from 2021, to just find this information in a way that we're asking for it and be able to spit it out for us. The last example I want to give you is how I see this really easily and the most powerful way I see us using it in the industry, and that is analytics. Anyone that does analytics knows that there are tons of routines, subroutines, parameters. They're very powerful, they're very useful, but they take a lot of time, and you can still miss things. You can't be perfect with it. With ChatGPT, or with the GPT model, we could actually create a device or an interface or a chatbot if you wanted, or really any way you wanted to present this data as an analytics assistant operating with a live data set that's coming in from a relational database. All of that already exists today. We're just working on putting it together and testing it. But in this situation, you see the long prompt I wrote it, asking it to be the automation assistant chatbot for a building. But in this situation, I even asked it to generate all the fake data that doesn't exist. We don't have a building that I'm looking at live data on. I said, I want you to act as a chatbot that's going to provide me with analytics data, and by the way, I need you to make up an entire building, all the sensors, and anything that could possibly happen. And I said, I want you to greet me with welcome to your building. What would you like to know today? And so that's what it did. So the first thing it does, it says, welcome to your building control system. And do you have any specific concerns or questions about your building? No, not today. I would just like an analytic overview. Based on my analysis, the energy consumption in your building has increased by 10% compared to the same period last year. The majority of this increase is due to the increased uses of HVAC equipment. Furthermore, the temperature in the building has been fluctuating more than usual, which may indicate that HVAC systems is not functioning at optimal levels. And you see how this might be able to replace a lot of the front-end work we have to do on analytics. If we can give it a raw data set and the understanding of what a building is and the problems a building owner and operator may run into, it can just run analytics with no prompting. So we plan on working on this, and I really hope that everyone in this room takes this as a call to action to start looking at this. This is an example where this technology is moving way too fast for us to gradually take it on over the next 10 years like we always have. I really think that this is an opportunity for us to lead with the new technology instead of following with it. Thank you.
Well done.